All right, welcome back everybody to another edition of Dollar Bin Digging. This is the article and video that I do for comicbookinvest.com where I talk about those cheap comics, those bargain comics, those things you can find in the cheap boxes at your LCS, flea markets, garage sales, yard sales, wherever you find your cheap comics. These are the little treasures you might still be able to find if you go digging. Now, today I'm doing sort of a little special focus in on the X-Men because today is actually the last day that you can vote. You can go over onto Marvel.com and vote for the newest member of the X-Men team. Last year they did this and they gave us a bunch of candidates and they added Polaris to the team. This year we have a hodgepodge of some oddball characters, and most of their firsts actually can be found in the cheap boxes. So I thought it was a good idea to cover them, today. So you have your last chance to vote. Go ahead, go vote, pick which X-Men you want to be on the team, and let's see what happens come tomorrow. Because again, I think you have until midnight tonight, Thursday, January 13th, to get your votes in. So go and vote after you watch this video. Now, hopefully you're enjoying this as well as all the other content here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Make sure you check out the live shows here on Sunday with Star Wars and on Wednesday with the Tax Show. And come join the live chat because it's a lot of fun, interacting with everybody. It's a good time. Now, with all of that said, just hang on for a few seconds and we'll get into all the first appearances I got for you this week. Okay, so as I kind of teased there in the open, yes, we are looking at the X-Men. And also, as I mentioned today, Thursday, January 13th, if you're watching this video, is your last chance to go and vote. The polls are open until midnight tonight, so you can still sneak your vote in if you get it done and pick which X-Men you want to choose, to join the team. Again, this is an oddball group. Some are older characters, some are some newer characters, some are some characters I don't know if anybody's paid much attention to, like Micromax. So who knows who's actually going to end up on the team? I suppose we'll find out probably by this weekend. I don't know how long it takes for them to count up the votes, but this is your last chance to go out there and make your voice heard. Who do you want on the X-Men team? Now, most of these characters, as you can see, are found, you can find their first in those cheap boxes. These aren't expensive books for the most part. Some can get a little pricey, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be aware of those first just in case you come across them for cheap. It's just one of those things. These aren't very popular books. These aren't the most popular characters. We're not talking about you're digging in a dollar bin looking for ASM 300s or Hulk 181s, like known books. These are some oddball things, even for the more expensive characters like Siren and Firestar. Just be aware. If you don't know their first, hopefully this helps you. So with our first book, we are going to start and go through this list alphabetically because that's how they are. So we're going to start with Astonishing X-Men number 4, not alphabetically by title of the comic, but by the character who we are starting with armor. This character first showed up during that Whedon run as kind of like a newer member of the team. She has an interesting power set with the, the force fields that she can generate around herself. I think she's a decent character and one that they could bring back to the X-Men. She already has, experience and some history there with them. I can see this happening. So this is a character I would vote for personally. Wouldn't be surprised if she actually ended up winning. But with the Astonishing X-Men run, I know everybody's still searching for those Abigail Brands with issue 6, but you can still find issue 4 a lot of times in those cheap boxes. Now, this thing sells for about $10, or at least the last one sold for $10, as you can see with a buy it now. And if you want to go shopping for it, well, you can find it for $8.99, or as you can see there, $17.99 for the B cover. There is a variant cover for this one, and you should keep an eye out for that as well. But that one has a little bit of more of a value because people search for it because of the Colossus aspect. It is a really good Colossus cover. There it is, and that's why it commands a little bit of a premium. But both of them, either cover, are first armor. And I know I mentioned it a few weeks ago. There is the cover for issue 6 of Astonishing X-Men, the one with Kitty Pryde and Colossus. That is actually the Toy Biz reprint version that actually has the guts of issue 4. So there's another one you can keep an eye out for as well. But that all being said, let's get on to our next character. And yes, the next book is a big book. I'm aware of that. I'm not saying you're going to find Uncanny X-Men 141 Or should I call it X-Men 141? Because they didn't officially change the title to Uncanny yet until 142. So, this issue is the first appearance of Avalanche, who was actually a villain for a good long time. Brotherhood of Evil Mutants type villain. If you watch the X-Men cartoon, we saw a lot of him there. But yes, this is the problem because you're not going to find this issue in a dollar bin. This is an expensive book. This is a popular book. This is a classic cover. This is all those things, a key for an X-Men book. But there are reprints that you can find. So that is what I'm recommending you keep an eye out for. Not to say if you don't find this for cheap, go ahead and buy 141. I'm just saying you can find this Toy Biz reprint that came, packaged with the figures, one of the Marvel Legends figures. So it's got the not for resale down there at the bottom. You know how I'm a big fan of looking for these Toy Biz reprints. So this is another one you might be able to scoop out. And even cheaper, there is a more recent True Believers reprint too. These are those $1 reprints that Marvel has come out with over the last few years or so. So there are reprint editions that you can find for cheap. Now, with that said, I'm kind of focusing in on the Toy Biz reprint, and that's this one with the not for resale on it. And you can see here, it's a best offer on $15. So accepted $10, $9.99, not too bad. And that $4 sale, that's actually the True Believers reprint there on its side. So you can see even that one's more than $1. It was $1 book, so you can get $4 for it. I'm just saying it's a cheap option if you want to get this book to read, because again, it is a classic story and it is a decent first appearance. But it's not popular for the reason of Avalanche. But sometimes that happens. Sometimes a character's first appearance gets stuck in a more expensive book, and you feel kind of bad. They'll always be overshadowed by that bigger reason. Now, what's available for this one? Well, this one can still be found for $10 to $18 if you don't feel like digging in a bin for it. But I still say you can find these things. Just keep an eye out for it. Keep digging, keep looking, and maybe you come across it. Which is going to take us to our next book. And that next book is X-Men, number, 171? This is the continuation of the Jim Lee run, the Jim Lee number ones with all, the multiple covers. This X-Men, adjectiveless X-Men, issue 171. Pretty cool cover here with Rogue and Gambit, facing away as they're moving on from one another. This book is the first appearance of Bling, another interesting character. Could they include her? Yeah, possibly. I could see it. I'm not in love with the name, and I really don't like character names that have punctuation inside of them. But that all being said, who knows? She could win the popular vote and become the newest X-Men. And then this becomes a book that more people want. Because right now, this book doesn't sell for very much at all. I had to search and dig even to find this best offer on $4.99. And even though it's crossed off as a best offer, the sale price was $4.99. I had to look into why. The reason why is because the seller had multiple copies, and I think a couple might have went for cheaper, but the last one, I think they just buy it now. And in instances like that, where you have multiple copies for sale, apparently, you get the strike through like it's a buy it now price. But regardless, $5 is what this thing sold for. eBay processes aside with pricing. And available copies are still very cheap. $2.25 you can find this for online, or up to $10. Even that $10 is free shipping, so it's really no different than that $5 sale. But that all being said, this is a very cheap book, and this is one you can probably still find in those boxes, as I noted before. So if you do, maybe grab it just in case. You don't have a lot of time until we know who's going to be the newest X-Men member, but still, this is a first appearance, and it doesn't hurt to have cheap first appearances in your boxes just in case these characters become more important, appear in some sort of property, on screen, on your television streaming, new comics, who knows? Just it doesn't hurt to grab first appearances if you can find them for $1, At least that's how I feel, and I do it all the time. Now, moving on, the next one is a pricier book and one you're probably not going to find, but just in case, I didn't want to leave her out of the list just because it's not harder to find, but it's a more expensive book. But SpiderMan and His Amazing Friends #1, a book you should always grab if you see it anyway, because it's just a classic. I mean, Spider-Man. Who didn't watch SpiderMan and His Amazing Friends? Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm dating myself. Excellent cartoon if you haven't seen it before. But Firestar first appears here in this comic, and so it's already a well-known book, and this one already sells for a good bit of money. I mean, you can see here, $57, or look at this, a best offer accepted on $12, where they only accepted $9. Granted, copy was a little bit beat. It was very good, I think is how they had it listed, but still, It's not too bad. And that's the kind of thing you might find in the cheap boxes. You might find a banged up copy because no one's going to bag and board it or try to sell it for a premium. They might just throw it in the boxes and say, to heck with it. I just want to get rid of it. Who knows? But keep digging. Maybe you find it. And if not, well, like I said, I just want to leave her off the list just because it's a unknown quantity. And available copies, like I said, it's expensive. 30 to 50 bucks are standard. There's some higher. You might find a couple lower if they're in bad shape, but this is kind of the going rate for this book. So if you find it, you found yourself a nice little treasure that you can flip. But otherwise, keep hunting. So we're going to move on to our next character. And our next character, I was a bit surprised. I didn't realize how much this went up, actually. This new X-Men number 23. The only book I ever looked for in the series was X-23's villain. Was it Kimura, the villain? I think it's issue 31. That's always the issue I would look for in this new X-Men run. But now, apparently, we need to look for first Gentle as well. He's a Wakandan mutant, and apparently this book has become popular because when I look over sale prices for this one, it's been selling. Well, I mean, 870 is a kind of a small number, but there were copies sold before this. They were a little bit pricier. This was just the most recent. So a copy sold for buy it now with $8.70. But the asking prices on this is $20, $30, $25 is the standard price for this. And everybody mentions the first appearance of Gentle. I didn't know he was that big of a deal, but apparently he is. So maybe this has some legs, and maybe he's the one who ends up being on the X-Men team because people are aware of him, people know him. He apparently has fans. I just didn't know much about him. So now I do. Now this is a book that's on my hunting list because, well, I probably have one around here somewhere. It doesn't hurt to have this sort of information when you're out there flipping through boxes. So hopefully you find that helpful. Moving on. Wolverine, number 20. Now, this is one I see a ton in the boxes. This Enemy of the State, it's a great read. I mean, you pick it up. It's the Mark Millar, John Romita Jr. art is okay. But this issue also apparently is the first appearance of Gorgon. Not the Inhuman Gorgon, but this samurai warrior hand member. I don't know. A little bit of a convoluted history. I know he was also in the Secret Warriors? Yeah, I think it was Secret Warriors series as well. Definitely an interesting first, and this would be an interesting choice of a member of the X-Men. But hey, who knows? Sold copies, you can see here, 99 cents or even less than that. You see that top one? It's $20 for 25 copies of this comic. Yes, 25 copies for $20. I don't know why, 12 bids to get there, but yeah. This was heavily printed. This was a popular run and a popular series at the time. So there are a lot of these out there, which is why you'll find these in cheap boxes. But as you can see, it still sells for cheap. If he ends up on the X-Men, he gets a higher profile, maybe this book starts to go up. But we'll have to see about that. Because right now, it's still copies online. You can buy it for as low as $2.69 or $17. I mean, some people are asking a little bit more for it. Who knows? But keep an eye out for it, just in case you flip past it. So let's keep rolling down this list. We have Excalibur, number 44. I know you see Excalibur books in those boxes. When I'm flipping through Excalibur, you had that early Krakoa or Offspring book that was it Excalibur 20 or 21. People were digging for a while. The one with the night crawler on the cover. You got the Joe Mad issues in the 50s, things like 57, 58, or 56, 57, somewhere in there. Those are the types of things I'm looking for when I hit the Excalibur bits in the boxes. But apparently, issue 44 is the first appearance of this Micromax character. I don't know if this is going to be the one they choose or if he has any legs whatsoever, but it's a fun little tidbit. Again, grab it for $1 or less because you might be able to find this for less than $1 and just tuck it away just in case. Now, for this, sold copies, $4.19 with free shipping. So you can do the math on that. You're almost paying somebody just to give it to you and mail it to you. You're just basically paying shipping at $4.19. But available copies are as well very cheap, $2.75. But for whatever reason, I saw there's copies out there listed for $20. I don't know. I guess there are Micromax fans out there. Now, our next book, as we kind of wind down here, we're getting closer to the end. We're in the second half for sure. Uncanny 316. And I know I brought this book up a few times before, and I've talked about it a few times before. It's a little convoluted when you get to all of the first appearances of the X-Men during this range. I mean, Blink wasn't really the Blink that we get from the other universes, and then you got M, but it really wasn't M that first time. It was her sister, and I know it could be a little confusing. There's also the foil cover. There's the red stripe version, newsstands, a lot of options. But this is the first appearance of Penance, who I believe is the younger sister of M, or maybe this is Monet, and she's just using this as her title now. But regardless, first appearance here is in 316. Sold copies. Again, this is still pretty cheap. $3. $3 sold yesterday. Not an expensive book, and you can find tons of these out there. Look, $2.80, $5, $8. It's not an expensive book, but still one I grab because you see it a lot. And maybe you get some more footing. Maybe there's a little more ground it can make up. And Penance, Monet is a character that we might see join the team. I liked her in the X Factor run. But again, I could be confusing it. I'm not sure which character that they're actually putting in there because we have the whole confusion with the twin sister and X-Men. Convoluted sometimes. Now, next book. We'll wind down. Like I said, this one is also a pricey book because this is an older book, and this is a character that's been around for quite a while. She's been on other teams before. Maybe it's her turn to get called up to the big leagues and be on the X-Men. But Spider-Woman number 37 is the first appearance, as you can see right there on the cover, of Siren. So this is Banshee's. I think it's his daughter, right? So this is a character we could see finally step it up to the big leagues, taking, Cassidy's place there. But this one sells, like I said, for a few bucks. So finding it would be a nice score. I don't expect you to find a ton of Spider-Woman, but you never know, because I do come across some Spider-Woman. I just don't know if I flip past 37s, not knowing what this was at the time. But sold copies of this one can sell. Don't let the $6.78 fool you, because UK shipping of $33, this is actually a $40 purchase for someone in the US if this was a US buyer from the UK. And that's for a fine plus copy as well. But if you want to go shopping to get an idea of what this runs for, look, $30 to $75 is the asking price on this. Like I said, this is a known book. So just like the Firestar, I didn't want to leave it out. I just want to let you know, in case you weren't aware, in case you know a place was like, you know what? I do know they got some Spider-Woman books in those cheap boxes. Maybe I should go back and flip through them again. Like, it's not a number one, but maybe there's other books that you can find. And this is one of those other books you should keep an eye out for. And now our final entry is another book that heated up a while back. This was all, I think, pre-Deadpool 2, the movie, because of all the speculation that this character was showing up in the movie. And then this drove this book to go way up. This is New Mutants number 8. This is a later volume of New Mutants, not the original New Mutants. And this is the first appearance of Surge. Pretty cool character, and one I can see them actually, again, making that jump up to the main squad. And as I said, known book, so you can find copies that might sell. $7, best offer on 16, where they accepted 13. Not a ton of money, but this is a book you might be able to score, a few bucks for if you find it for $1. And when you look online, what are the asking prices right now and what's left? Well, they're still asking those $15 to $20. So this thing did pop. Like I said, this was, I think, $40 to $50 at one point. And at the time, I was like, sell, 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 which was probably a good idea, because here we are, back down here. And maybe you find it in those cheap boxes once again, because Surge isn't the most well-known character out there. But again, who knows what can happen with the main squad call-up. One of these 10 is going to join the team. We don't know which one yet. We'll have to wait. Go place your vote. Put your money where your mouth is. Go vote on Marvel.com and vote for your favorite, maybe not favorite, but who you want to join your favorite X-Men team. I already did. I'm not going to tell you who I voted for, because I'll tell you later. But I already voted. You go vote, and keep an eye out for these books, because, like I said, you might find some of these out there in those cheap boxes. And with that, I will say that's our list for today. Thank you for stopping by. Checking this out. Hopefully you enjoyed this content, and hopefully you're enjoying the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said, all the likes, subscribes, telling friends, keep this sub count going up. But really, come join the live chats on the live shows on Sundays and Wednesdays, because, like I said, it's a good time. And I guess I will see you guys soon with some more content. And make sure you go check out the article on CBSI, comicbookinvest.com, because there's a ton of other great content, all for free. including the Hot 10 list that drops every Friday. So with that, I will see you guys later.